I feel like I'm always paranoid it never goes live, so.
And then we're just here talking by ourselves.
Well, it's not even that. Like that we just like start a whole conversation and it's like comes in halfway through.
We're up.
We are
Hi, guys.
up.
Awesome. Yay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Hidden Legacies live show. We are very excited because we've been messaging back and forth all week.
Yeah.
So if you're here, say hello in the chat. And most of the people on the live stream will be very familiar with people who are following this video, but just in case, we'll go around and introduce ourselves. Izzy, do you want to start?
Just in case. All right. Hi, I'm Izzy from Happy For Now. This is my reread of the series, which apparently I reread White Hot last year around this time, or 2 years ago around this time. So I found that interesting. I'm not a big rereader, but somehow I reread books at the same time. And I didn't finish my reread.
That one, though.
Yeah.
I love that you didn't finish your reread.
Yeah, I didn't finish my reread yet.
Hi.
I have a cold. I'm allowed.
I'm working on two things. Yeah. I'm lengthening sleeves on this shirt and making a shawl for a wedding.
Very nice.
Love that for you.
Thank you.
I'm posting on Instagram. I'm Heather from Here Booktubes. I'm sure all 8 of you know who I am, but
I know
they don't.
I've never met you before in my entire life.
Yeah, I've never.
You've never been here before.
Who are you? How did I get here?
It's really confusing.
Really confusing. I'm Steph. This is my channel. If you're Aussie, Happy Democracy Sausage Day, please go and vote. Please, dear God, go and vote.
I'm so jealous that y'all have
deal with another 4 years of this government. Days. But anyway, this is a really good distraction for me today, actually, because otherwise I'll be
doom scrolling.
Doom scrolling.
I really vote on a Saturday.
Yeah, it's always
so
on the
interesting.
I mean, it's better than our Tuesday.
Yeah, we're always on a Tuesday, and I'm just like, why are we on a Tuesday?
And we don't give any time off for it.
If we're not on a Tuesday, then people who have to work can't go vote.
I know. I mean, I know
because we get fined if we're enrolled and we don't vote. So they have to make space for us to vote because we are legally obligated to vote.
Wow, what's that like?
Which is good.
Wild.
Yeah. What?
One of my best friends just became an Australian citizen, and she's so gutted because she hasn't had her ceremony yet. So she technically can't vote this time around, and she was so geared up to vote.
Oh, and that is disappointing.
She was really disappointed. So not for another 4 yees. Bummer. But anyway, let's not derail this because
no sausage for her for 4 years.
No sausage. That sounds good.
No.
It sounds so bad.
And for anyone who doesn't know that it is a big thing here. The polling places typically have barbecues and raise money for different things. So today it's at my school. So the Parents Association is fundraising for our school, which is great.
Feels so cool.
And will be my lunch later on.
I love it.
So yes. Anyway, that's a bit of an aside. All right. So, these look like they're in the right spot. So, Burn For Me and White Hot. All right. So, Izzy, these were a reread for all of us, these two books.
Yeah.
So, I enjoyed rereading them, and I enjoyed them back to back.
I forgot how much I love them.
Same. I had the same thing. I was like, why did I give these 4 stars? These are 6-star favorites. What was I thinking?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everything went up when
everything went up. I was like, what was I thinking?
Mine were from before I rated books, so they had no rating.
Oh, really? That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, why are these 4 stars? These are both 6 stars, like all-time favorites.
Like I waited till like my days off and I had them at like 1.5 speed in my ears instead of my normal speed because I wanted to like slowly enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
Mm-hmm. The serotonin. Great.
Yeah, pure serotonin. I agree.
Yep. I was excited because the first time I read them as ebooks, and I'm like, why have I only highlighted 4 things when I go through and I've got all of this now? I'm like, and probably could have done more. I was restraining myself a little bit. So I'm like, this could be covered in
Yeah.
page flags.
I don't know
Favorite
that I could do a
moments.
markup read of it. I feel like the whole book would have flags. Like I just
Yeah.
it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
I feel like this is the perfect place to start if you want to try Ilona Andrews, because it's not Daniels, it's not a full-time book series, but it does like perfectly embody what they do and what's so good about it. Like it is the perfect starting point.
I agree. This is where I recommend people start. I like Kate Daniels, but this is a much stronger start, in my opinion, with Burn for me than any of the Kate Daniels books, because I feel like Kate Daniels takes like 3 books to get.
Yeah, you don't need
really
you don't need the same
you're there
read
for
in
the
as
romance. This gives you what you want much quicker than Kate Daniels does.
I mean, come on. He literally dodges a squirrel for her.
That's true.
That's cute.
The epitome of romance.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, I could do.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever hit an animal with me in the car. He'll freak out.
It's the epitome of romance.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, I would kill for this to be adapted.
Oh, I would love it so much.
It's never going to be, but
if it was, I feel like we'd be very disappointed, honestly.
I mean,
I don't know. I would still watch it.
They could ruin it, and I'd watch it all. It's fine.
I would still watch it. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that is a good question. Who would you fan cast?
Sebastian Stan is Rogan.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I don't know who Nevada would be, though. I noticed this. Did anyone else notice that the cover model does not match the physical description of Nevada?
Yes.
Because they said she's dark-skinned.
Well, they said she's brown.
Or darker, like brown.
Well, they said she was like, I pictured like Native American, but with blonde hair.
No, you're wrong.
I mean,
you're wrong. Let me tell you.
Yeah, I pictured like on the cover she's pale.
Yelling, I'm wrong.
Yeah.
No, I picture like just like a Latinx blend, because it like mentioned all the heritage of like all of our grandparents and stuff, and why she had like this specific coloring with the really blonde hair. So that's why I pictured.
Yeah, same. I mean, I just was like, then I was looking at the cover and I was like, wait a minute.
I didn't picture that guy as Rogan.
Right.
Like the cover guy does not look like what I think Rogan would look like. So
I feel like he's a mix of what I think Rogan would look like, but he's not big enough.
But I'm trying. Yeah, he needs to be bigger.
It's kind of funny with the Tessa Bailey controversy, because I'm sure y'all are like the same age as me, but I definitely grew up where like the cover did not tell you jack shit about the book. Like they had the
can I tell you?
They had the wrong genre, the wrong era, the wrong everything.
I mean, same.
So
I just, go ahead. Sorry,
I have a perfect example from this week about that. This is like, I don't tend to pay that much attention to covers generally.
Mm-hmm.
This does not match the book. It's beautiful.
Why?
But to me, because
this
doesn't happen in the book.
Oh, they're not on the river?
Our cover is completely different. Our cover, American cover, is completely different for that book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
and I actually really like aesthetically, but I've gotten myself to a point now I'm like, I just can't pay attention to the covers, otherwise I get really frustrated.
No, I just I never noticed it or thought about it. And then I was like, wait a minute.
I think she's still light skinned, but obviously brown, not white. Like that is, I don't view her as super dark.
Mediterranean, maybe even.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Apparently a skin tone that doesn't lend to natural blonde, because through the whole book they kept saying she had a dye job.
Right.
Yeah. Which is funny.
Even though I feel like I've seen that somewhere, but don't ask.
I'm sure it exists.
It's not working. Yeah.
Genetics are wild.
They are.
They are. All right. Oh, hi, Carrie.
Okay.
Carrie.
I could see a blonde Olivia Munn kind of as Nevada. I can see
I'm like face blind when it comes to picturing people in books. Like I can picture
absolutely.
like the physique, but when it comes to like this part, it's just a blur with some hair. Always.
I know
Same.
nothing.
Same. But I saw who I would cast every time, at least for the boys. Some of the girls.
I don't ever have any idea.
I don't know.
Yeah. I just thought,
Right.
Nevada had the skin tone that just when you went in the sand, you just tanned.
Yeah.
Some people have that.
She was definitely not
I go
white.
with.
She didn't look white, but she
And
also
bird.
for sure got darker in the sun. Or why I think she's probably light skinned.
I liked it. I liked the way that they described powers. It seems like something that would happen in the world where it's just like rich people want to be more powerful. Let's make this serum and see what happens.
Yeah, it seemed accurate.
I don't know who it is.
I don't either.
Mute and then unmute.
I did mute and then unmute, and it wasn't me.
Whoever just muted and unmuted, it's you.
Me?
Maybe. Mute?
Yeah, it's Steph. Okay, because I was
It's
still
Steph.
muted. Uh-oh.
It's like a like a static.
It was a weird static, yeah.
Yeah.
With the agreement between the houses and the government and stuff with the politics, I thought all of that made sense.
And then like the selective breeding also.
Yeah, and all of the
Very-
power
yeah.
stuff, like I feel like made so much sense without like too much explanation. Because I feel like with that stuff, sometimes they can get too like in the weeds of explaining it.
Yeah.
And
But
I feel like we got like enough to be like, okay, I get the world, and like we're able to journey through the story.
Yeah. There's a lot less you had to like build because versus like Kate Daniels.
Mm-hmm.
Because Kate Daniels was almost like an entirely new place. Like it just happened to be
has
Georgia.
So many creatures, and the origin of the creatures and magic user is so important to the magic system and the overall world and storyline that it's more. I don't know. I picture nobody.
Yeah, I got nobody for
I will
Cornelius.
say
who even
I
was
love
Cornelius?
Cornelius.
Cornelius is the
Cornelius
animal
is
muse, right?
the animal muse, the animal muse. Yeah.
You know what? I feel like I can actually picture an actor, but I have no idea what his name is. But it's like very unassuming glasses. That's all I got for you. He's white. I don't know.
I picture a blonde, unassuming glasses, blonde. Like it's. I understand.
It's obviously Robert Pattinson because I feel like he would really lean into the weirdness.
He's too
of that
tall.
role. I know he is, but it would be funny.
He's too tall.
I'm just giving you random people.
I mean, that's fair.
All right, is that better with the audio?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I want to know how you all feel about Augustine, because I feel like at the beginning it's just like, fuck this dude. And then later on it's still kind of like, fuck you. But also you're apparently our best friend. I don't know.
Look, I do love
static.
that Rogan calls him pancakes.
Yeah, it's funny.
But like pancakes needs to get over himself. He does.
I think it's interesting because I feel like in book 2 you're almost like at points on his side of the fence because of how Rogan is to an extent with Kate, or not with Kate, with Nevada. It's because I'm reading the comments about like the Kate Daniels world. If that makes sense, like in some ways you're like, yeah, you tell him he's not good enough for you. That's right, he's not. I mean, he's got to do more. But then you're also like, but I want to with him.
Augustine is still literally just trying to take advantage. Like he's trying to lock her into a I lost the word.
Yeah,
but the agreement thingamabobber contract.
Even in the
he's a businessman.
book,
I fully expect him to try and do that and come out on top.
Right.
In the first book, he was just like, well, if Kate dies, whatever.
Pennies compared to her actual worth, though.
Yeah.
So it's
but
kind
even
of like,
in the first book, Augustine was like, here's the thing, you might die. You have to do it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that's probably going to kill you, and we don't want to put any of our people on it, so you're going to do it because we own you.
Right.
Yeah.
He thought they were either going to fail or die. Like that's really the only two options he saw, as he thought she was a mundane.
Yeah, and that's part of it too, though. It's hard because like Rogan obviously recognizes the power that Nevada has, but everyone else in the society doesn't.
Rogan recognizes the power because he literally does the claw spells chalk circle thing and goes will against her and can't break her.
That is true.
So it's not like he was just like, ooh, vibes. He was like, this is going to be no problem, and then he couldn't do it.
Yeah, and then he was like, oh shit.
And then he had inside information.
And then he's like, oh man, she's hot too. So
and he's like, and I'm just a little bit of a like touch her and you die vibes / like maybe only want to be good for her morality chain happening.
I can't wait for the next book.
I do
remember like a specific thing about how overbearing and stuff he is, and Nevada's just like, maybe this comes in handy, and I can't wait.
There's a scene I thought was in this next book, and it's not. It's in the last one, and I'm like, dang it.
Well, I love it in these two though, because like at the end of book 1, right, and at the end of Burn for Me, and she's like, "This isn't gonna work." Like, no, and he's like, "Fine, whatever." And then in book 2, it's like, "Oh, by the way, he bought all the property around you."
I feel like he wasn't fine, whatever though. He was like, "I'll show you," and then did nothing. But actually,
that's why he's kind of like, "Fine, whatever." I feel like he's like to her almost like, "Okay, we'll see." And has to go around behind everyone and does something different. And it's just like, yeah, whatever. Oh, you're cold out here. I'm going to make you wear my jacket. I don't give a fuck.
And like,
I'm going to force you.
The protectiveness, though, that like that type of thing does not bother me. Like, you're literally saving my family's life. What do I care? I don't. I'd be more like if you told me no about tacos than if you bought all of the property around my house. Like,
well, and I feel like that's what makes it work though, because like she just like she meets him, like they both meet each other at the same point. I feel like what you need with a hero like him. Like, I don't want a book where the heroine's just like, oh yay, thank you. I want the heroine who's like, no, fuck you, why are you doing this?
Sure.
See, I don't want her to be like, oh yay, thank you. I want her to be like, you know what, that's actually really smart. That's what I want. It's not so much because I don't like the naive, overexcited cheerleader reaction. Like, does that description give you what I'm saying? Where it's like, oh my god, you're so funny, you're so like, I don't like that, but I want it to be like, logically that makes so much sense that like this is a pressure point that someone could apply.
But I also like that he didn't rub it in her face that he was buying up the properties around her. He literally didn't tell her. And she didn't realize, because you sometimes you get those alpha characters who will then go, oh, and I have done this to keep you safe. But he just does it because he knows it's to keep her safe, but he doesn't actually tell her about it. And I like that.
I just love how it goes. And like, the space of an hour is like completely covert. And then it's like, nope, we're just patrolling the street now. Like, you've made us, so we might as well be obvious.
I would like to quickly circle back to Grandma's MVP. I agree.
Yeah.
Love
100%.
And I do love that she's just like, take a picture. Do you have Adam's so hot? Do it for the vine. I'm like, yes, Grandma.
The homicidal maniac, but he has 6-pack abs.
The wins the wedding from Grandma all the time too cracks me up.
I love it.
She's like, I see it. I know this is happening. It's fine. Get over it.
I love that her sisters.
The wedding magazines with Nevada's face.
That scene was great. Her sisters, we need college tuition money.
Yeah.
And then she and taking the ATVs in book 2.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I was like, these are mine. These are mine.
And then Rogan's just like to his officer, he's like,
just let
her have them.
Yeah.
And the officer is like not happy. Like,
she's like, what do you mean just let her take them?
He was so mad at his officer for spilling the beans though.
Yeah.
Because that's how Nevada found out that he bought the land around her.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
But that moment when she realized was great. I just loved that.
Yeah.
I do love that he like walked out into the middle of the street and it was just like, I'm not on your property. And I was like, mood, yes.
But also at the same time though, when you're like in that fight, like I could just feel the rage overwhelming me. Like
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've done that fight before at some point. Just be
It
like,
feels
this
like
is public land, do something.
It feels like a fight. I could feel the rage though. Yeah. I was like, I know this fight.
But I do want to come back to this point because I think
right.
they always have such a good supporting cast.
Yeah.
And you feel for them so deeply without it being like pages and pages and pages of character work, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But even like just a slight character, you'll be like, no, like you need to be okay. You need to make it out of this. Or you have like a strong visceral reaction to them, good or bad. I feel like they really do a good job of telling you how you should feel about these people.
Yeah. I love Bug and I love Cornelius.
Yeah.
I love Bug, and I'm just like wanting to be stable and live.
Yeah.
I mean, just all of them.
His daughter. They're amazing.
What's her name? Yes. I cannot remember the daughter's
name.
Yes,
Madeline.
Madeline, I think. Yeah.
I think that's right.
I love her.
Like
and she's not even on the page much, really.
I love that when she's like, Rogan, hold my cat, and he's just like,
okay. Matilda. There it is.
Matilda.
Okay.
Matilda makes me think of like Victorian schoolgirl with the dark braids and the white collar and the black dress.
Don't disagree with you.
I love it.
Makes me think of Roald Dahl.
I need to clean his eyes. I'm like, oh, precious bean. Oh, speaking of the ferrets, friggin' undercover ferrets.
Those are cute.
The best. Like
scene. I loved it. And you just had Rogan go, we need pressure plates in the vents.
And Augustine is typing away too, like. And I love too that they're like, oh, is it a laser field? And she's like, no, it's not. Not what I do love that. And then she gave them the solution. Then they're like,
I do love the one time that Augustine actually like let loose a little bit, and he was trying to crack jokes with Nevada. Rogan's just like giving them $1. He's like, I hate to see comedians star. And I was like, the banter. I love it.
Banter's good in this series.
No, I think he'd still be scary.
Yeah. I think he's scary because he's unpredictable to others. Like
even that he's unpredictable. One, he's so powerful.
Yeah.
And two, if he deems you a threat, he
doesn't care. You're done.
Like there's no reason not to eliminate you, and you don't ever know. And I feel like too, he's really smart. So I feel like the average person doesn't know what line they crossed or what button they pressed or what pressure plate they hit, and then he's like, oh, immediately no, and then you're dead.
Yeah.
So.
Book 1, the chopstick scene, oh my god. Like literally everyone was just like, we're done, bye, and just like left the restaurant.
But also she was like, this is so rude to just like make people eating their meals in a restaurant uncomfortable and completely redoing the restaurant to suit you and costing the owners money because people might be nervous to come back. And
and that's why I like Nevada.
Yeah
Because she does not care. She's like, that's not okay, dude. And he's like, oh oops.
She calls him out on being an entitled rich powerful person.
And he really needs that.
Yeah, I think it's a good balance too between not judging him correctly, like he's not as bad as she thinks he is, and also him needing a little bit of a reality check because he very much does live in his privilege, you know?
Yeah.
He gives off big Darcy vibes.
He does.
Yeah.
I'm listening to Pride and Prejudice right now. So yes.
Such a good book.
And show and movie.
Yeah, I mean, I have my little shrine to Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies up on my wall, so.
Yeah. And it's kind of the same thing as it was with Kate, too, which I won't go into spoilers if anybody watching hasn't read the series, but it's very hard for her to make connections because people are scared of her.
Yeah.
And I have always felt like power is a very lonely place to be.
Mm-hmm.
And like I would be sad.
That scene, that interrogation scene with the mercenaries, oh, that broke my heart in the second book.
Yeah.
And she, like, they told her, they're like, use your power, make them tell you things, and she did, and then all of the people around her were just like terrifying, and then she was like, I am so alone right now, and I was like, oh.
And then Rogan was like, no, you're not.
I got you. So good.
I did like this scene.
I do too. I love Bug.
Bug
and
is
his dog.
Yes, Napoleon.
Yes. Sitting on Rogan's feet, sitting next to Rogan.
There you go, another fan cast.
Is that Lily James White?
Yeah, she's too pale.
I don't know who she is.
It took me a minute, but
she's in
I'm pretty sure I got it.
Tommy.
Huh?
She was she played Pamela Anderson in Pam and Tommy. And she was
Never
Cinderella.
Okay.
Oh,
she was Cinderella in the live action.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
Pam and Tommy was the most recent thing, which is why I said that. Like, but yeah, she's too pale.
Also because it had Sebastian Stan in it.
That too. I haven't watched it yet. I'm not ready for the penis puppet, so.
I don't want to watch it because Pamela Anderson did not want them to make it, and they were like, "No, it's about an exploited woman. We're gonna do it anyways." She's like, "Yeah, I'm the exploited woman. I would really like you not to do it."
Yeah.
I watch anime.
We do.
I'm currently almost halfway through Food Wars again. It's so good.
I do love a computer genius person in books, especially when they're well done and they don't feel like, oh, I just hit buttons and make things happen.
I love that there's two computer genius people that get each other. Because they're not
complementary.
It's not because it's not like Bug and Bern are like trying to be like, I'm better than you. No, I'm better than you. And it's like, no, they're both just like, oh, hey man, cool computer. And he's like, bro, this isn't even the best part. And I'm like, yeah, I like it. I like it.
Speaking of side characters, I liked Leon them figuring out what Leon's abilities were in the second book.
I feel bad because it's like Leon is such like they even said he's like a gentle soul, even though he's a typical teenage boy. And I'm just like, oh man, to realize that you have that ability and you're just such my heart.
You don't even really fully know what the ability is because they didn't have a good explanation or name for it.
I think they go into more detail in the next book.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think the next book, because that's when we get the house, right?
Yeah.
Because do they start the process at the end of I'm like 25%.
Yeah, they do the whole house testing in the next book.
Yeah, I was like, that's the next book, right?
But
they discuss
Leon doesn't test
or anything.
Yeah, Leon doesn't test though because he wants to be a dark horse because he doesn't want to have to be used as a weapon, basically.
Yeah.
Way to spoil it for me.
I totally forgot that I was doing that. I am so sorry.
There's more to the book. That's fine.
There's more to it than that.
My brain didn't even process that. That was.
I just was like, it's obvious that the next book is the house setup. Like,
no,
this one.
I do love.
What Megan said.
No, I was like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make her spoil it.
So sorry.
It's so funny too because I was reading the second book and I was trying to remember. It was like, are there any dark horses? I feel like the sisters
I legitimately mixed the second and third book in my head. So like, even though I
feel like the three books
after this.
Yeah, because they're running in 3-book arcs. I think it is kind of tricky to separate.
It is
the 3 stories because
I'm gonna feel bad for the next month. I'm real sorry.
Do not feel bad.
I'm reading.
We'll shame you for the whole time.
That's not even the worst spoiler you could have said for anything.
Yeah, that's true.
I was mostly joking. Mostly. Anyways, I really want to say, because I completely forgot about this, was the supernatural sensory sexy time things.
Oh my god, yes.
The best.
Love when we get something like that, and it was so good.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about
frequent
that as well.
too. It was like a couple times in the first book.
That makeout session in the first book.
Oh my god! But when Rogan used it on that like vapid chick while he was also like planning to murder her in the middle of a mall.
Yep.
And also, this is the type of thing that does a little bit annoy me. And I feel like it's because I am petty, and that is like the girl, I forget her name, Hansel. I don't know. That's not her name.
I don't remember.
No, that's not it. Mine's not right either, but that's definitely not it. No, she's like, stop being jealous, go over there, nobody needs you and stuff. And I'm like, literally she's trying to save your life. But if it was me, I'd be like, choke her a little. I don't care. Like, you brought this on yourself.
Oh my God.
Or I would be like, I was trying to get him to not kill you, but I guess I won't bother. Like, I'm
just gonna say that Heather will not be the morality chain to someone ever.
No.
Ever.
I will be in some ways where I'm like, okay, at some point you need to go.
Yeah, but you would still be like, kill him, I don't care.
Yeah.
I can't disagree that I also wouldn't be that way. Yeah. So it's fine.
I would not. I would definitely be like, you can't kill people.
It's like right now I'm reading a book too where this girl is so awful and then the main character's like risking her life to save her, and I'm like, for what? For what? We don't.
If it's the right thing to do.
It's so it's stupid. It's stupid. She's not even grateful. She says, no, like, I'm leaving you. Goodbye.
See, that's why when you find a really good morality chain story, it's very good, because it makes you believe the reason why someone would be that.
Too many of it is just, oh, don't do that. That's bad. And I'm like, that's not good enough reason for me not to do it. Which is funny because if my husband were here, he'd be like, you literally don't like kill bugs. Like, what are you talking about?
Yes, but
people
can be so annoying, Heather.
I do like that when Rogan was like, you should have shot me. Nevada was very much like, no, like, you shoot to kill. There's other people who could have like been hurt. And I'm just like, yeah, good gun safety.
Yeah, it feels good gun safety. I don't disagree.
Didn't you bring a small caliber so it wouldn't go through and hit somebody else? But whatevs. Also, at that point, she never shot anybody. And
I like the kidnapping as a meet cute situation.
That she had the gun magic either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
I don't think she processed it. She also didn't process that she had gun magic, because it wasn't until the second book when like her mom and grandma looked at each other and they were like,
right. It was when they were watching tapes of it.
Yeah.
They were like,
only activated when you're
pressure.
Shot
at. It had to be life or death situations, basically.
It had to be if you're getting shot at, then like power activates.
Yeah. I feel like jumping in here.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, most of us read too many romances where kidnapping is the meet cute for us to have an issue with it.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's a meet violent kind of, just like Heather loves, and I like too.
That's what my video tomorrow is.
I love it.
Is it?
And most of them are pretty violent.
I made one of my friends read this because I was reading it and she'd never read it before, and she's not like real deep into romances, and she was like, well, I hated that he did that, and I didn't like the like tactile thing, and I'm just like, oh, sweet summer child.
Can't fix bad taste.
Okay, listen, here's the thing. For me, when it comes to violence from the love interest or whatever, right? Are they in a relationship? No, they have never met before. To him, this is part of the job. It's the enemy. He has
She's
no
a means to an end.
And he's also not trying to actually damage her in any way, right? He's trying to find her information, but he has no plans to kill her or abuse her or cripple her or any, like, he plans on her being fine. He thinks, again, that this is going to be like a 3-minute thing. She's going to be mad that she had to tell him, but ultimately she's going to be completely fine. And then afterwards, if you go to Ilona Andrews' website, there is Rogan's POV part 1 and part 2. Part 1 is in the gardens when he's chasing after her, and part 2 is in the basement. And you see that he's like, oh great, now we're kidnapping innocent woman. Way to go. And so I really liked that, which obviously wasn't in the book. But for me, it's not like, okay, we've had a relationship going and now I have to decide to torture you. It's like, no, I don't have any emotional connection to you. There's no reason for me to feel bad about anything. Whereas, again, 6 months from now, you couldn't do a thing to him to make him do anything to Nevada.
Yeah. And I did like that afterwards he comes back to her and just like tries to team up with her, and she's like, no, you kidnapped me.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to work with you.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like it's not like it's an established relationship in any way to make me feel uncomfortable about it.
Right.
And even then, like one of my favorite romances, the hero kidnaps his wife so that they can work through their divorce and not get divorced. Right. So is it okay? No, but it's a book. No, like we can understand that. Like
not condoning the reality of it, but in a book, for a plot point.
I think a lot of it is motivation too. Like, are you just trying to get your way and that's it? You know, because sometimes I feel, especially with alpha heroes, it's like, okay, actually, you're just being a brat or a bully. Like, you literally just want your way. That's it, and you're forcing your way on another person, whether it's something really simple like, I'm paying for this or whatever, but you're not taking what the other person is saying into consideration. It is literally your opinion is the only one that matters. That type of stuff bugs me a lot more than like, I'm literally saving your life, so I'm going to buy everything around you.
Yep.
I just found a quote that I remembered I really loved while I was reading the first book. It says, maybe you should make me a list of people I can kill and ways in which they're allowed to die.
Yeah. I really, she's like, I don't want to make you uncomfortable. So if you could, she's like, I was going to spear him, but I thought you wouldn't like that. And she was like, no, that would have been way worse. He's like, so.
I do like the way Nevada describes him in the books. Like at first, he's a dragon.
I love it. And then when he's like, dragons. I knew there was a reason I was always getting dragons around you.
But like what is it when they all go into the Chamber of Commerce or whatever the heck it is, and she calls him an elemental force, and I was like, I love that, like the way she describes him, because he's never just a person. He is an elemental force. He is a dragon. He is like a hurricane heading towards you. I'm just like,
And also, he was literally a 19-year-old weapon of mass destruction for the military.
Yeah. And then she refers to the Scourge of Mexico a lot too. She was like, the Scourge of Mexico is having dinner with us.
Yeah, she used a lot of his, what people knew him as.
Yeah.
There was quite a few of those. It's interesting.
Especially when she's trying to distance herself a little bit.
Yeah.
From him. Oh, God.
I'm dropping the links in the chat for everyone in case anybody needs them.
And also, she really trusted him before she felt like she could be in a relationship with him. She trusted him like way before that whatever he said he was going to do, he was going to do. And I do feel like in some ways she viewed him as too trigger happy. Like, I feel like a lot of times she was like, don't kill them. And he's like, I wasn't going to kill them. Why would I kill them?
Yeah.
She just assumes the worst for him, which is hard. I mean, of course, because that's his reputation, though, right?
But also in a way that didn't super annoy me, because I do feel like that's a thing that can get on my very last nerve.
I think he gets like pictures, like visions, because he also like he sends like picture type vision video things out as well.
They talk how it's not like
it's not his
like
strongest.
A side effect because it's not his main power too. Not a side effect. Like it's a side power, I guess.
Like so he gets like impressions or something.
Yeah.
And it's due to proximity as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Because there was the point where that he was talking about how they were trying to have, or his parents wanted him to have a certain set of powers. Was that him or someone else? Yeah.
Yeah, and it was him.
No, it was him. Yeah.
I still feel like,
and I like that that's still unpredictable. That they think that they can do it, but they.
Yeah.
Well, what was it? A vector, where like two strong people end up with less strong kids, and it just keeps going and going, and they get weaker and weaker. And that's like a failing on the children, not on
the genetics.
Yeah, like they're like, it's you and your children's fault that they're not stronger, and it's like that's not fair.
No, but it feels very accurate.
It does. It does feel very accurate.
I was gonna say, it seems like once they developed the Asara serum and then probably played around with it for a while, and then the rich people got hold of it and made themselves richer and more powerful, and then they stopped actually looking at what caused all the changes in the first place.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah.
Oh, when they go to that like pit, and there's that girl that's like mermaid but not, because they were doing like genetic tests on her.
Yeah.
It actually kind of reminded me of the mermaids that were in the Kate Daniels series, in the one novella with Julie and Derek.
Oh yeah.
It reminded me a lot of that.
Yeah, that's true.
But I like that they showed that it wasn't all like sunshine, rainbow, happy superpowers.
Yeah, right.
Like with that woman, and then also with Bug, how they were like, here's what happens when you mess with magic. Like things can happen.
Yeah.
And even like Rogan and Augustine feeling like they only have one possible life course. Like even the people at the top are still kind of trapped into things.
Well, what was it? The psycho whatever lady that gets eaten alive by rats. She was like, "You're a disgrace to your family because you didn't marry and mate properly," and I'm just like, what? Also, Cornelius is the Pied Piper. Like his family line is the freaking Pied Pipers.
Yeah, it was cool that they had magic before the serum.
Yeah. Like I was like, yo. The minute he was like singing, I was like, oh crap, that's right. I forgot.
I forgot a lot, and I remembered more than I thought I did also, though.
Yeah. Like Ilona Andrews, they're so good at just sort of weaving in the familiar and creating their own magic system based off of that, which I think makes it interesting, because you're not trying to learn a whole new system if you've got little ties to things that you already know.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes in fantasy books, that's where they lose me. I'm just trying to work out the details, whereas
and then
that makes total sense why Cornelius has the abilities he does.
Like the minutiae in the fantasy books.
Yeah. Also, if he's only a significant and he has like all of these powers, like I can't even compute primes.
You're not supposed to.
Apparently his sister is a prime, but he's a significant, and I'm just like, he has some wicked powers. Like, what does his sister have?
Yeah.
Do you feel like the animal mages is all I've got, but animal mages are kind of supposed to be like neurodivergent? They have a hard time with people and stuff.
Oh yeah, because they said that they can't make connections with humans very well.
Kind of what I was, a vibe I got, I guess.
Could be. I hadn't thought of it that way.
I could see. I like that idea. Like that makes sense.
Yeah. There's a lot.
I pictured him as European because of the like, one, because his name's Cornelius, and two, because of the Pied Piper thing.
Yeah. Cornelius makes me think of just a British.
Yeah.
British.
Definitely thought he was somewhere in the UK.
Yeah.
Welsh, British, somewhere in there. Or I guess Welsh or English.
Plus, where does the Pied Piper story originate from? It's European, right? That's why we all know it.
Yeah.
Let's go to Google.
German, I think.
Yep. Lower Saxony, Germany is where it takes place. I do. I still can't. I love it. Was like the whole time that the ferret heist scene was going on. I was literally just like, oh my god, so cute, so cute. With the little screwdrivers. It just made me so happy.
Megan would like a little ferret who can work a screwdriver.
It was just
ferret
such
badger, that little ferret badger. Oh my god.
It was just the perfect use of ferrets in a heist.
It
I
is.
mean, who knew you needed it, and then you got it, and you were just like, yes, please.
Exactly
More
what I needed
heist.
my whole life. This is what I was missing my whole life. Ferret heist.
Yeah. Or just like a little extra bonus scene where Rogan has Cornelius and the ferrets just testing out his security system.
Yes.
That would be cute.
Oh my gosh, and then when the little raccoon has the like thing of juice for Matilda. Oh. So cute.
What did you all think about, is it Catalina? Her powers?
Yeah. Oh man,
Hang on,
her
who's read Catalina's book so far?
I read the first one.
I haven't read any. I refuse until the third book.
And I stopped because the second book got pushed.
Yeah.
And the third book got pushed, and I was like, thank God I stopped.
Yeah. I stopped at the
Hey, at least we didn't have a 3-year wait.
I read
between this Burn for Me and White Hot, like everyone else did that read.
I forgot whatever that bridge novella / normal book is. That's the
Diamond
one
Fire.
Yeah, that's the last one I read, because then I was like, oh, the third book in that. Nope, will not. And then it got pushed again, and I was like, oh, thank goodness I didn't read it. I would have been so upset.
But we have confirmation. It's August. So,
I like Catalina, and I like what, going just by this first time we see her use her powers, I like we see what happens.
We meet her love interest in this third book, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the third one.
I love, honestly, I think it's fun seeing the girls and like the younger sisters in this book, and the cousins and stuff too. But
I love the family dynamic.
Like, I really think it's interesting rereading it, having more recently read her book, like the first one in her series, and just being like, oh yeah, that's right, she was like only 18.
Yeah, she's only,
you know,
she's 17.
Yeah.
And then Arabella's only like 15, right? Or 14.
Yeah,
14, I think. Yeah.
15, 17, and like 25.
And Leon
is 15.
Like, in between them, I
think he and Arabella are the same age. Burn is like 20-ish, 2021, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And then Nevada's the oldest.
Yeah, it's just interesting to see that, like, having read the first book, I feel like coming back to it, you're like, oh yeah, that's right, they are children. Yeah.
Oh,
I really like
the scene where Rogan was like, well, your parents had you out of love, because Leon was like complaining, and he's like, I was genetically picked, and Leon was like, my mom was drunk and forgot a condom. And I'm like, oh, I feel so bad for them. Poor Burn and Leon. I'm happy that they have like Aunt Penelope and that family.
Yeah.
Puberty can be so rough though, because it's just like, how am I ever going to get to adult? I don't understand.
Yeah, Leon is getting the puberty hits real hard. He's just like, I'm not tall, I'm not smart, I don't have powers. And I'm just like, poor Leon.
I know.
I do like that he doesn't like begrudge his brother though.
No.
Like, his brother's like tall and fit and powerful and smart. And he's still just like, my brother's awesome. I love him.
Every single family member is likable. Every single one. You don't feel like you're a brat or ungrateful or using, the main character or any toxicity.
It's the best.
It's like, no, I will die for all of you.
Yes. I do like that Arabella and Leon are like brats, but they're like how you would expect normal teenagers to act.
Right.
Like,
they still listen in an emergency. They still have the best interests of their loved ones at heart, because they truly do love them. They don't just think about themselves, but also be age appropriate.
Yeah, but Arabella will still steal Catalina's makeup, and Leon will kind of like do the minimum amount of work on a job he was asked to do because they're teenagers. And he was
like, they only fight over things like makeup or whatever. Like, it's
things
never
that don't matter.
Anything serious, because they will literally kill the first person who looks the wrong way at the other one. You know?
Yeah, I love that. That whole family unit is just wonderful.
Yeah, exactly. And it makes it so nice to read, especially when also I love when you get the love interest, maybe not he does have a good found family, but they are all his employees. He doesn't have people who don't rely on him in that way. And so it's nice to just have such a warm, welcoming environment to just for him to be able to come into and be just feel like it's completely safe here.
And that family has already like welcomed him, even though Nevada's already welcomed him.
You are the brother-in-law. I don't know what she's doing.
Yeah, like, I don't know what's going on there, but
like she'll come around eventually.
Yeah, we'll figure this out.
I do love Leon's like hero worship of Rogan.
Yeah,
they wrote them very well for the ages that they're supposed to be.
I do.
Agreed.
Yeah. I feel like this and Kate Daniels both really, it's funny because they have such specific building blocks that they use for their stories, right? They tend to write the same aged main character. They have just a lot of different things with the powerful love interest, and they're being pressured into doing stuff and they're hiding powers, but they have a really legit reason for maybe not flashing how strong they are or whatever. Like, they have a lot of similarities, but they are completely different. Like, I feel like you could read them after each other and be like, no, that wasn't just copy and paste.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely better than the Aurelia Rider, where it felt like copy paste. Yes. Heather, I feel you.
Listen, it's just that it didn't make sense for the characters. That's
I understand.
That's the hill I will die on.
You don't have to. I agree with you.
Oh, you know what else was great? The buried in the rubble scene. That was
yes.
And he's just like, listen, baseball stats will only go so far. So you could just remain still. That would be great.
I do like that they show that even like the all-powerful people have limits.
Yeah. As
like
you
it's like my magic is not infinite.
Right.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It gives it more stakes too, obviously. Like if their power was infinite, it just like, what are the stakes then?
Yeah. But I mean, it's just like real people can do really cool stuff, but not 24/7. Like everyone gets fatigued at some point.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, they are similar couples.
They are similar, but they're not the same.
They're not the same.
And they don't have like the same hang-ups and stuff.
I mean, Nevada and Rogan are definitely more morality chain than Kate and Curran are.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Curran was like very strong in his
I love Cornelius.
Morals.
Yeah. He is one of my favorites.
Less murdery than Rogan.
Yeah.
Well, Curran's very big on advocating not just killing people for the sake of killing them.
Rogan,
what are you going to argue, Heather?
You annoy me.
No. Rogan's
I mean, Curran is like, I'm not saying he doesn't
because Curran has to,
but he's alpha, like he has to run that pack, so it's
right.
different.
I feel like that's the main difference. I feel like Curran would love to be able just to kill people.
I 100% believe that Rogan is basically Curran sans pack and have to hold power over people. Yeah, it's one of my favorite powers too.
I don't care at all. I'm so sorry.
I mean, I don't want to actually talk to animals, but I always think it's fun when it's used.
Yeah, I
like my character. I would be completely uninterested in a book about.
I just want to see Ocean's 11 with ferrets.
See, I don't care. I loved reading that one scene, but like, give me a whole book now.
No, I don't want a whole book of it either. Technically,
no, but I love those scenes. They're great. They're wonderful.
Little short story, Megan.
Yeah, just a little baby story.
I want the short story you suggested stuff.
Signs on as an employee. Like I completely forgot about that. So
I love that. When she was, I do love that Nevada's like, I would love to have you. I cannot pay you what you're worth. And I'm like, I love that she's very ethical as a person.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I also love too when he's like, this was all I owe you, and she's like, did you not understand the rates I quoted you?
Yeah.
He was like, no, I just figured it changed.
She didn't be like, oh, you have money, let me like hike up the price. She's like, no, like this is our standard. We have made this out when we open the business. Mm-hmm. I love that like one of their rules is at the end of the day you have to be able to look at yourself in the mirror.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
It's a good rule.
There's a lot of I feel like with military or anything where you're dealing with violence and force and stuff, it can consume your soul. Like you have to. I don't know. I feel like it's always there. It makes sense.
Most people I know that have done it been over, like that's like one of the things is like they come back and it's like I had to do what I had to do. So I feel like that being your role makes perfect sense.
I do like
in
the
a
doctor
situation like this.
The doctor explaining how we tell people how they're supposed to act growing up, and then the minute they go into the military, it's like, no, we're gonna have to put this on hold now, but then they like go back into civilian life and it takes a while for you to like reprogram your brain. Mm-hmm. Like I was like, I like how it was described, I guess.
Yeah, it made sense. It was logical for sure.
It's also such a well-documented problem, and then nothing's really done about it, you know?
Which, I mean, Gordon, her husband, was a Marine, right?
Oh, he was?
I think he was military, yeah. Or Air Force. I'm not sure which.
It would be with the writing to me.
Hold on. I'll tell you in just a second. Because I'm 99% sure that he was a communications sergeant in the Army.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that makes a lot of sense to me. He would understand the transition because like obviously I've dealt with it personally, like with my partner, and like it's very weird.
Yeah.
Like to come back from being deployed and stuff, or to like then detransition out of the military and like learn everything's not urgent and everything's not life or death in the same way that it is when you're deployed.
I know a like special forces guy, his wife can't like walk up behind him. She can't like touch him without being like, hey, it's me. You know, like there's like, a lot of different things that is literally not safe for her to surprise him. Right.
Yeah. We at first like crowds were hard. Now they're fine. But like, you know, like stuff like that, like just things people don't think about always.
Right. Fireworks.
Yeah, that can be a big trigger for a lot of people. And it just depends too on what you saw and what you did.
Yeah.
When you were doing that. So I do think I deeply appreciate how accurate they are about it, is the best way I can put it. If that makes sense. Because like I do feel like oftentimes when you get that stuff in books, it's not well portrayed.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we get Bug, who like, you know, is somebody that really like got put through it in the military. Hype piece.
And it was just abandoned entirely.
And then it was abandoned, which often happens, you know, and
I also
the
like
toll
how
of
Rogan
he
was talking about how much he hated that they just are like, we're going to use you for 2 years, and that's like an acceptable. Acceptable.
Well, that's the mindset. Like when you're in the like grunt stuff, if you're infantry and stuff to an extent, you know.
Yeah.
We see you.
And I like that Rogan takes them in.
Right.
And gives them a space.
I do too.
I thought,
and I love that he recognizes it and is like, I can help here.
And it's interesting too because like Nevada was like, okay, so he rescues them and then they will die for him. Like he has their loyalty no matter what.
Yeah.
But also it's not just self-serving. It's not manipulative. It's not.
No, he does it because they know they need the purpose.
Yeah, I feel like at first she thought though. At first she like was just like, oh, he's basically like taking advantage of these people, and then she realizes, oh, he wants to help rather than trick, I guess, in a way, or manipulate.
She about hit the button and made me leave the live. That would have been hilarious.
I'm not
she
surprised.
Just missed it.
I'm trying to think of
what else I had on my notes.
Really wanted to talk about.
I just love the book.
I just love them. I feel like the next one will be easier because we can like fully spoil the full trilogy.
Yeah.
Because that's the hard part right now. Is I'm like, what am I thinking of that's in book 3?
Oh, not me. I'm fine.
Except for Heather.
Well, I'm glad
I'm so glad you read them.
I liked how Adam too was like flirting with her and stuff, but it wasn't like a love triangle. It wasn't like he was deeply obsessed. It was just like a distraction. And like, do I think he would have turned down sex with her? No, I do not. But also, like, he wasn't trying to make her his queen or anything.
Yeah.
I also really like that the DA is actually a good person.
Yeah. She's awesome.
Actually, and this isn't. I'm not a complete spoiler, but I like that we start as we move forward. Now we've got the DA who is a good person, but we start to meet other people and other primes and other powerful individuals who are good people as well. Yeah. So even though we've got we've got houses that are hungry for power, it's not every house and not every person. And they build up allies that way.
At the ball, that one prime who like took Nevada to the side.
Yes, actually,
like, yes. I can protect you. I can get you out.
Yeah.
I know you don't. I know you might not trust me because I'm a man, but like I have other
also
people
he was like a big, scary, powerful guy, right?
Yeah. So he understood. He even said, he's like, I understand that like you probably won't trust me because of the way I look, but here's like my mom and my sister. Like you can trust them, if not me. And I'm just like, amazing.
Immediately, yes.
I will say,
I like too. He didn't just automatically take her. Oh, everything's fine at face value.
Yeah.
That interaction.
I was gonna say, I think it can look like that, but if you've been around people who were in and like get out, like oftentimes you find companies that are just like all veterans because they, like it, and it can seem like it's a manipulation, but it's not necessarily. Because I do think that if somebody needed out, he wouldn't expect them to pay back their debts. Probably, like he would probably just be like, "Go, like this isn't working."
And he also like paid them fairly, like all the things. He gave them, so it's like he should have on his end of the bargain.
And I still feel like he wouldn't be like, you owe me back this money or my loans are no longer good on your property or whatever.
Right.
Like, I think he would just be like, we're square or this is your payment plan.
Yeah. Right.
He's also very
like,
upfront.
if you don't shoot this person, I'm foreclosing on all of your stuff.
Yeah. But he's also very upfront. He's like, this is dangerous. You could die and I'm not giving you life insurance. I'm going to pay you enough as like hazard pay for you to buy life insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But he's like, this is
also, I was like, why don't you just provide life insurance? I'm confused.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't have life insurance in this world.
The American insurance
told them to buy life
very
insurance.
Complicated.
No, that's true. He did.
I'm like, why can you not?
American insurance is complicated, okay?
It is. But
it is complicated.
Also, you have freaking magic. You can't just.
Well, I mean, time and place in this is weird because, like, we have Vine references, but also it feels futuristic, but it's not. But it is. I don't know.
I do love the Vine. It still cracks me up.
Yeah, I know it's just alternative timeline, but
like it is 2014, but in 1960 we got magic.
Yeah.
I love when Catalina is talking about the boy in her class and she's just like reciting an episode of a teen drama.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
I also love the line with Catalina when they were like, her sister, like, we're immune to it. She's our sister. We already love her as much as we can. I was like, oh,
I love that. It doesn't affect us because unconditional love.
Right. It's not like genetics. It's like, no, literally, we already love her.
Yeah.
Which I think is an important thing that's mentioned this early in the series before we even get to her books.
Yeah. I love that we still don't quite know, what Arabella's powers are. That makes me really excited. Sorry,
I remember what.
I remember, but I'm happy that like we still don't quite know yet as of the end of book 2.
Yeah.
Right. It just says however they describe Catalina as the girl they love or the perfect girl or whatever was taken by a monster.
Yeah.
That left a giant hole in a wall.
It is interesting to me too with the genetics and the breeding. So we have this power in our bloodline and stuff. How then their house is just like completely random powers to each person. Like,
the ability of not planning it is pretty wild, huh?
Yeah. And almost every person in their family has some sort of like weapon machine tech, like sub power of some sort.
Well, do the girls, the younger girls?
I think they if nothing else, they have at least normal raw talent of their parent continuously making them practice using guns.
Right.
Yeah.
And part of you want, like, whether the abilities are also linked to personality.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's the first time I've thought of it, so I'm not even going to try and elaborate on that. I'll have to.
I do love that the whole group was like, come in, you need to hear her story. And then my friend's going to put a hole in this wall for more light. And they're like, oh, yeah, good idea. More light.
Need more light.
Yeah.
That was funny.
It's funny, but there's a scariness in that.
Yeah, in that sort of.
I was just going to say,
of power.
Powers are scary, and I feel like the biggest. And I feel like this is so true, and you can see it with like Marilyn Monroe, perfect example, right? But having people love you so much is not always good.
No, I don't mean scary for other people. I think it's scary for her.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
because like Nevada's abilities are scary for other people.
Totally. They're obsessed with you and stuff, but they also don't view you as a person, and they will ultimately harm you all the way to the point of death. Right.
Just the thought of like how Catalina had to learn about that and train herself, because they know, because they said like first they're gonna admire her, but then they're gonna get closer, and then they're gonna want to touch her, and then they're gonna want some of her clothing, and then they're gonna want some of her hair, and then they're gonna want. And I'm like, that means that this escalated at some point in her life for them to know how it builds.
Right.
And that's terrifying, especially because she's only 17.
I mean, I feel like it also just gives you like the scare of like what stan culture is sometimes, and it like freaks me out every time.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Like there are way too many people who are willing to commit any atrocity for their favorite person on there.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
You don't know them. What are you doing? Plus, you're being with a truly horrible person right now. Like, why?
Oh, like people who just like find out like famous people's addresses and show up. I'm like, what is?
I was literally thinking about that today.
It's creepy.
I remember once in a while, like YouTubers, because they're not like famous, so they don't have like bodyguards or whatever, the right precautions, and people just show up at their houses,
right?
And just be like, hey, can I have your autograph? And it's like, what are you doing at my house?
Yeah, well, because you can find all that info online. You try hard enough.
It's scary. Or some people who just like kind of don't really pay attention when they film, and just bits and pieces. After a while, they're like, oh, I know around where this person lives, or oh, it's creepy.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna let y'all be famous, and I'll ride your coattails.
You're welcome, Megan. Not that I'm famous.
I'm here once a month to talk about books, and occasionally I'll post on Instagram.
I love that Megan is like couple thousand. That's fame.
Ooh, that's fame.
It is fame. It's fame for me, who's happy that I hit 200. Also, yay! I have 200 people on Instagram. I'm almost there.
I mean, even at a couple thousand,
200 people.
Catch the wrong
I'm genuinely
attention.
surprised.
That's exactly like it's a real thing. Like,
yeah,
I'm very cautious about like I don't post when I'm on trips and stuff like purposefully.
Right. Because so much boundaries is like that person understanding boundaries.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Usually that's the problem, right? Like most people understand the parasocial relationship. And then you get the weirdos that don't.
Yeah, you just need one exception. And then,
my sister is really bad about understanding that people are creepy, and she posts immediately everything with a location tag as she's there. So she'll be like, picture just got to Cracker Barrel or checking into Cracker Barrel, and I'm like, girl,
stop.
Like, this is Facebook. It's a geolocate of which Cracker Barrel you are at.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. I usually post after. I mean, it just depends on what I'm doing. But
back.
like occasionally I'll post during, but a lot of times surprise, my Instagram stories are later from the trip after I got home or as I'm coming home, not during the trip.
Same. Yeah.
Or at least not geotagged.
I definitely do not geotag. I hate geotagging.
When I am somewhere.
It's the worst.
I do not geotag.
But yeah, I don't know. I find that part of Catalina's power really interesting. I'm really into the like discussion of weird fan culture stuff in books lately, though. Yeah. And like being a person on the internet also, which I mean, obviously, like I know Megan, you aren't active online in the same way, but I feel like for the three of us, like it's something we probably think about more than most people.
Yeah.
Even though we don't have like giant channels.
I think that'll be an interesting conversation when we do get to Catalina's books, because we spend more time with her and sort of the effects of that.
I can't wait to read her books. Like, I'm so excited because
I haven't read them yet.
Read along. The only ones I hadn't read were like a couple novellas.
They've got a different. Like they've got the same feel, but a different at the same time. And I like the way that they've been broken up into the three.
Is there an 8-year time jump between?
No, there is not.
You're still real salty about that.
I'm so.
She's very put out by the 8-year time jump from.
Ruined everything for me.
It did ruin a lot. I'm also over that time jump. I can never live it down.
Mistakes were made, and I am vocal about that fact.
Listen, they can't be perfect all the time.
No.
They flew too close to the sun. They girl bossed too close to the sun, and they bit them in the butt right away.
Oh my god! One of my 19-year-old coworkers says "girl boss" all the time.
You better be lying.
I would just like to let you know that you just reminded me of a 19-year-old I work with. How she's like, "Yes, girl boss." And
well, no, I just like saying a girl boss.
Patterson wrote another book, and she's like, "Girl boss," and I'm like, "Can we not call James Patterson girl boss?"
Wait. Please? No, I am now only referring to James Patterson as a girl boss. Thank you.
I'm happy to help with my Gen Z coworkers slang.
I will 100%. If I ever read a James Patterson, he girl boss this book.
He does. He girl bosses so hard. James Patterson girl bosses so hard.
Oh Lord, why me?
I had to try to explain bet to my spouse. He's like, why do people just keep going bet? And I'm like, it's like, okay, or oh, cool, I'll do it. And he's like, but why bet? And I was like, it's like a shortened version of like, you betcha. he was like,
just tell him to pick up the old white man slang. It's fine. And when they say bet, just be like, all rats.
Mara had a video, an Agatha Christie video, where it's like cap or fact, and my husband was like, why did she say Mara from Books Like Whoa?
I did not know that. Now I need to go check that out.
I was like, it's supposed to be funny because like she's the same age as us. Like, she understands the irony.
When I was a call center trainer, we literally had a good 30-minute discussion of someone trying to explain the difference between like cap and no cap. So it's just like this little 21-year-old with his summer job,
children.
And he's just like, no, like here's how it originates, like cap, and he just like went off, and all of the like older people are just like,
and
I was like cracking up.
The youths keep me
weird in the middle. I'm just this weird in the middle human, and I'm just like, this is bizarre.
Mm-hmm. It is.
I was reading something, someone used fleek, and I was just like, this is an old book, isn't it? By old, I mean like 5 years. This is a 5-year-old book.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say, how old is it? Like 5 years? Language moves fast on the internet.
I don't know. It's a Susan Wright book. Not to call out Susan Wright, but I was like, she's like trying to make the way like teenagers talk. They were like, oh, it's fleek, and I was like, why would you do this?
Oh, because at one point it was used. This is why you try to minimize your slang in books.
That's why you don't say do it for the vine in your first book of a series.
Okay, but also
Ilona Andrews.
Also, can we note though, I want books that show their time and place that they were written, not books that like have references that are contemporaries to 80s movies. And these people are like 22. They're not watching 80s movies. They shouldn't be referencing whatever the fuck movie.
Not
like
books that want to be relatable, so they quote Harry Potter all the time.
I would rather it have like an outdated term than be this weird thing. Do you know what I mean? Like the Vine reference. I was just like, oh my god. And then I'm updating my spreadsheet and was like, this came out in 2014?
It's literally just entertaining to me. It's like one little chuckle in the book, you know? It doesn't take me out.
It just gives me a time and place.
No, it doesn't take me out. It just makes me laugh.
Plus, like, Vine is resurging right now in a weird way because of TikTok.
Oh, yeah, all the old Vines. I
so,
know.
Like, it's just weird.
I'm still a piece of garbage, like, blew up again. And I'm like, oh, man, now if I ever post a video with my intro, people are going to think I took it, like, off of these cool TikTokers, when really I took it off of a Vine from freaking 10 years ago. It's fine.
TikTok
I can't be hipster.
Playing it in my head right now.
Megan.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I can't be hipster Megan anymore. What I did before was cool.
All right, you tell yourself that. I don't think
will.
anyone's too concerned. I think
I can tell you right now, no one.
It's all in your own head, is what I'm gonna say.
No one thinks I'm cool, so it's fine.
Just keep doing what you want to do, because TikTok's going to do what it wants to do, and I'm just going to leave it over there.
I'm having fun on Instagram right now, doing reels, because my TikTok won't open in the store I work at for some reason. It just hates it. So I'm like, well, guess I'll stick with these sucky reels. It's the worst. It's terrible. I understand why people take their TikToks and just download them and put them on Vine or on Reel.
On Vine.
On Vine.
They're too long for Vine, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. Oh gosh. And James, all other authors are James Patterson in a trench coat.
Girl bossing his way to the sun, okay? Let him live. Let him girl boss to the sun. Hashtag girl boss.
Hashtag girl boss. Oh, they're so over us right now. I can sense it. I can feel it. I can see it.
She is.
I'm fine. Oh. This is just my face today.
Well, this is about the point in the live where we devolve into whatever is on our mind.
It is definitely.
We were talking about election day in the first 30 seconds, so
because I found out about sausages.
I found out about that in 2020, and it might have even been from Steph, but I just
probably.
Why don't we have anything like that?
I missed it, but I didn't.
No, we did have that conversation.
Everyone
that was
votes. It's like, dang.
Look, it's bribery.
It's freedom.
I might have heard about it, and I just totally forgot. And then
I've never heard about it until just now.
It's fine. We probably should wrap up anyways. We're fully devolving.
Wrap up. It's only been an hour.
And 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Honestly, this is one of the shorter ones we've done.
Yeah, we are pretty bad about it.
I'll keep us on track. Don't worry.
Well,
how did you guys feel about Nevada using her powers on the primes, the one that died, and also Augustine's mind trying to block her grandmother, which I don't remember what happens with the grandmother, but I hope she dies violently. I would be okay.
I got the
Not
grandmother.
the sweet one, the evil one.
I got the grandmother confused with Olivia or whatever her name is, that old lady. I got them mixed. I thought they were the same person. So I thought she was the one that got eaten alive by rats, and I was like, oh, rip. I was wrong.
They were both evil, though.
Yes.
they were.
I also liked that Nevada was like, help, I'm running away in fear from her power. You should
Augustine, what are
hold
you
me in a
doing?
room where no one would know this is a duplicate guy.
I love it.
It was good. That's just so good. I'm excited to finish my reread tonight.
It was so satisfying.
Mm-hmm.
And
dive back into it, just be like, yes, this is the absolute best.
That's where I'm debating if I'm gonna just like read through Wildfire and then reread Wildfire and then the novella.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna do the same thing.
I won't even reread it. I'll just rely on somebody to bring something up. Which, based on this live, maybe I should take notes because you all are doing a terrible job. I feel like
Excuse me, I'm sick, and so is Steph. So you know what? Maybe you should have taken notes. You should have known this ahead of time, Heather.
Listen, Steph spent a lot of time taking notes originally, and I took notes for like the first live, and I was like, "Oh, Steph's got this."
This is on par for me.
I got distracted this time.
That's our next point.
That I have done with Steph for the last 3 years. This is me. It will not get better. It will probably not get worse.
Megan, we've done a lot of live shows together.
So many live shows together.
It's fine.
And I had much better notes on the side changeling ones than I've managed to do. You
had like a whole spreadsheet of like how people relate, like family trees and stuff. You went really deep in that one.
Can you send me that?
Yeah, if I can find it.
Okay, thanks.
I will.
Because I'm constantly confused on who and where I'm at in that series.
Yes. I think I did the first series of books.
I know you did at least the first.
I mean, like, it's fine. I like figure it out by about halfway through the book, but I'm always like, wait, what? Where am I? I was like, why am I in New York?
Hang on, let me see if I can find it.
Podcast per book, episode per book.
Yeah.
I've been listening to Mara's podcast while I read them, so.
I cannot listen to a podcast while reading a book. That's too much.
Well, no. Like, after I read the book, I'm listening to the podcast.
Oh,
like,
okay.
It follows the series.
I thought you were saying like simultaneously, and I'm like, that's too much word for brain.
No.
Compute.
No, I mean, like, I'll read the book and listen to the podcast.
I have all of my. I did end up. I have all of the notes that I took for the first 15 books of the Side Changeling series, in Drive documents.
Yes,
because that was when I was doing my videos.
Yeah,
I would pull out the notebook and
video for each book, and then I was like, maybe I'm confused.
No, I do.
No, Steph has a video for each book.
She does. I just have
I've forgotten the platform I did that spreadsheet thingy on.
That's okay. You can look for it later. I don't need it right now. It was just I would just kill to have that while I'm reading through it.
Yeah,
because I'm I'll be reading Caleb's book this week, by the way, Steph. If you have time to reread, just I'll let you know when I get there.
I need a break from Side Changeling.
Is anybody proud of me that I read Heart of Obsidian? I feel like
I'm very proud that you read Heart of Obsidian.
It's so good.
It is good.
I'm not going to say it. Never mind. That's going to devolve into a whole other conversation.
This series and Heart of Obsidian are my favorite morality chains, and I think they're the two that do it the best that I've read so far.
Yeah,
I think there's an Immortals After Dark one that also does it really well. Which is Noemi's
If I could get into Immortals After Dark,
I could not get into it, so you're not
alone. I tried really hard.
Did you try Noemi's book? Dark Needs at Night.
Is that the Ghost one?
The Ghost. Yeah.
I have read
I couldn't get through the Ghost. I DNF'd it halfway through.
That's 4, yeah. The titles I can't keep straight.
I tried to muscle through the first 3, and then the 4th one I just gave up completely. I
think that one's like the best entry point for people who like don't love the first one. And that one's definitely morality chain kind of situation.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of morality chain books, so. But you're not super like Heather would like Immortals After Dark, I feel like, because it's
I read 1 and liked it.
More alpha, over the top.
Yeah.
And I don't like you like that, but you like a very specific version of that.
Yeah.
So
I realized after also DNFing The Professional that I just don't like Cressley Cole's writing.
I can see that too.
Like, no offense to Cressley Cole. Everyone,
The Professional's not the best one in that series either, though. Like, because that one was originally a serial, and there's just some issues with that because of that, in my opinion.
Yeah,
fair.
But yeah,
everyone is not for everyone, and that's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like I don't hate people who are like, yeah, Cressley Cole's the best. So I'm like, you are entitled to your opinion. Just don't force me to read.
No, I won't force you to read her. I love her. She's one of my all-time favorite authors.
And that's fair.
But also, it's the kind of book I like.
I know I like Shelley Lawrenston, and people are very hit and miss on Shelley Lawrenston books. That's what I've noticed. They're either like, this is great and hilarious, or they're like, this is ridiculous.
I've only read The Unleashing by her, and I liked it, but I need to try some of her other ones.
I read one of yours that you told me to read. I can't remember which one it was, though.
Yeah, I made you read one. I made you read, I think it was The Main Event.
Yes, I think so. Yes, I think so.
I did a reread of that whole series because it is like my big serotonin boost series. So I got it on audio, and that's how I got through my work for the 2 months.
Yeah. No, I was thinking about which series I need to reread, and I probably need to go back and do the Guild Hunter series since the next book will come out.
And then I read Dragon.
But I will not be doing more videos for a series because that was a lot.
I'm taking a break from my series vlogs because it's just become a lot.
Yeah.
It's
I'm just gonna reread them. I'm not gonna vlog them or anything like that.
Because that's how I feel about the Side Changeling right now. I'm like, oh, am I done yet?
Yeah.
So just because it's a lot. That's all. Not because they're bad.
Take a break when you get to the end of Allegiance of Honor.
I'm planning to, and then I'm going to read the Trinity series in like a week and just be caught up.
Wait for the next.
That's what I'm going to do when that one drops. Like right before that drops, I will read all of them and then read the new one, and then I'll be done for a year.
Sounds like a good plan. Yeah, that was the first Nalini Singh series that I binge read, mostly because I picked up book 10 at a bookstore because I thought the cover looked pretty, and then realized it was book 10 in a series.
Oh no!
I went, oops.
I mean, it's okay. I made everyone scream when I picked up Heart of Obsidian instead of starting at book 1, but
not everyone.
I know. A lot of people were very mad at me. We're not thrilled.
They need to get over it.
It's fine. I was specifically told by multiple people I could start here. It's fine.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. It's literally the only other starting point in the series, in the middle of that series.
Literally don't think I would make it through this reread if I hadn't have already read that one. So.
Oh, gosh. All right. Well, we might need to start wrapping up because I need to head off soon. But
I'm really get your barbecue in.
Gotta go eat the sausages.
Yeah, I think the sun's still out, so I probably won't.
I felt like it was inappropriate to say have your sausage party, so
that's why I said eat the sausages, because I was like, well, that's about as close as I can get to making that appropriate.
Look, apparently the parents organised a cake stall as well, so we'll go see if they've got some dessert.
I love cake.
Yeah,
cake is delicious. Yeah, so we're reading.
We are reading Wildfire and Diamond Fire next, which is teeny tiny.
And it's on.
It is third week in June. Hang on.
So June 17th.
Yes.
And we'll put. I don't know what channel we're doing it on. So.
Yeah, we'll let you
never
know.
Decided
channel.
that.
It will not be mine.
Decide now. That way, anybody watching the live,
It's on Heather's channel.
We're on replay.
It's on Heather's channel.
No.
She just said decide now. It's on her channel.
Okay, I'll do the next one. Then Izzy will do the one after that, and then we'll finish on
Steph's. Okay.
I was real scared. You're like, we're finishing on Megan's, and I was like, no, we're not.
Listen, I'm sparing you.
Megan's super dead channel. No.
Same time.
Same time.
Same that time.
Yeah.
So we're at the point in the year where the time zones are not shocking. So
yeah.
There we go.
Hashtag boss.
There we go. June 17th.
I should probably write this down.
We posted
It's okay.
at the same moment almost.
Great mind. You put more information in there.
It's okay.
Hashtag girl boss. I love it.
Bossing. Just girl bossing my way through the day.
Girl bossing it.
Oh, I can't wait for the next one.
I can't either. I'm very excited. All right.
I was just so excited for this one.
I'm pumped for this reread. It's so fun. I am vlogging it. It'll go up when Ruby Fever comes out. So I'm excited.
Like this, to me, this is like the ultimate comfort read series.
Agreed. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It is just, it's top tier.
So good.
And thank you
Ferret
for everyone
heist,
who
man.
lived in and came and had a chat with us about the book.
Yeah, y'all the best.
Yay! Basically just giving us an excuse to chat about the series.
Mm-hmm.
I mostly just fangirl over it.
Pretty much.
Right.
I forced my way in here for a reason.
I mean, I don't know what I would do without my monthly live shows with Steph. We've been doing them for so long at this point.
This is like the type of series too, though, where like I don't want to talk about with somebody who was like, that was fine. Like I don't.
No, it's gotta be like we all enjoy it. Like I agree.
Yeah.
Because I would be like, what's wrong with you?
Right. I just would not.
Why?
You are not allowed. You're not allowed.
You're
to
off
not
this live. You're kicked off. We're no longer friends.
As someone whose friend was like, it was okay. I'm like, we're no longer friends.
Mm-hmm.
And even people who just say, oh no, I haven't read it. I'm like, why? Why have you not read it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, even
read
that was totally fine, but then I don't want to spend an hour talking about the book with you when you were like, there was nothing special. Because like, no, I won't.
They clearly haven't read the book if they don't know there's something special about it. See?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Mary's got it right. All right. I will let everyone go so that everyone can have a good evening. Thanks for hanging out and chatting with us. And
Happy
we will
election day stuff.
Thanks. And we'll see you guys on the 17th.
Bye, y'all.
See you later.